rigs made out of wood, metal, plastic, what have you, and it's quiet out here when we're working. Well, when I started, you just got you a couple of pieces of wood and a good sharp pocket knife and made you a model airplane. Now the miniatures that I do are in such detail that they require a lot of time and a lot of money. Well, we're trying to make some more junk. We got a new 55-gallon barrel we're going to put in our junkyard. First, we got to make these pieces look like they're old and rusted. Well, you know, of all the hours I've spent building this junkyard, every time someone looks at it, they have another idea. I've got pretty close to 300 hours of labor in making this. Well, what you're looking at is my version of Big Al's A1 salvage. There was a lot of old yards sitting around like this, and we decided to miniaturize one. And junkyards are interesting places to go. Kind of like going into an antique store. And we've got everything here. We've got the guard dog. The garbage can is so realistic, it even has an odor. The ladies, they all giggled and laughed at the old dirty restroom. The basketball hoop, that's a big one. And then down here, you'll see the old basketball, and if you'll notice all the fingerprints on it, the greasy fingerprints. But the thing that generated the most interest was the water hose there that's been left and not quite turned all the way off, and the water runs all the way out across the yard there, causing a mud puddle. My biggest project is hopefully we'll be able to build a Holy City church that's over here in the Wichita Mountains. And if you'll notice right here on these stones, most of them have got rounded surfaces on them. And my problem is collecting enough stones that appear to be like these for detail. Most people say miniatures and doll houses, and as soon as they say doll houses, they think of little girls and dolls, and it's not that way at all. Most of the miniatures that I know are grown people, older people, if you will. I've got a lady up in Colorado, an artist, that's going to duplicate these trees for me. This one right here, you notice, it's a real piece of artwork. Well, we're going to take a picture of this tree for the lady that's going to reproduce these trees for me. The reason I chose to do it is because it will be different. But that give me 6 years minimum. If you just notice, all this is handmade. Every piece of tile you're looking at, each individual, even the floor. And we'll have to do the same thing. It'll be the biggest accomplishment of my miniature career. It's going to take a while. I was kind of hoping that we could get it. If it looked good enough, we'd put it in a museum. And it's going to be my last project before I go fishing. Now, I say that, but we have to ask my wife.
Their workday begins earlier than most.
He's got so many rats in that mane, might as well no girlfriend I have.
And instead of bringing their tools, they have to catch them.
You got him? Got him, done. That old thing get you.
Oh, he didn't want to go this morning. He wanted a day off.
But springtime in the Osage means no time to spare for days off.
Well, first week's not bad. The second week is a little tougher. From there on out, they don't get no easier.
Let him go! It probably looks easy to anyone who's never had to do it.
I think we'll have to go pins at a high rate of speed here in a minute, lad.
But these cowboys will work from dawn to dusk, moving 1,000 head of ornery steers from pasture to pen.
I'll take Cup Boys and Sword if you want to take Cup Boys and do that other stuff.
And back.
Right now we're preconditioning our steers. We get them in and sort them and
Street tag.
fly tag them, implant them, worm them, and then spray them. And then we put them back out. Cows are real tricky. I heard old timers say one time, it's amazing how many smart cowboys one dumb cow can outsmart.
Sometimes they try your patience a little bit.
First time I say gray leaf rod, I've known him for 30 years.
Fella go and get him big dip of snuff, sit under the tree a minute, he's all right, huh, Bobby? It's sweet. Yeah.
It'll be a little chilly for him right on back this morning going to lunch.
Well, don't tell me they already got the friend. We don't carry much weight.
Probably.
It's one of the few breaks they get.
That might be one of the bad things about it everybody talks about.
But for these cowboys, the horsing around is nonstop.
You can always tell when that fella ain't telling you the truth. If his lips is moving, he's lying.
Man, you cold. That's cold now. Good thing he's a plastic, that's all I can say.
They live a life most folks can only dream about. A sort of romance on the range.
I was pretty fortunate growing up here in the Osage because I've been around a lot of places and there's nothing like it, and there's probably not any better cowboys.
A place where each day ends with the promise of a new beginning. In Osage County, I'm Randy Ritter, Newsline 9, late edition. There is a freedom out here that money can't buy.
I give up a $10 an hour job to come out here and do this for $1,000 a month, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Boy, I mean, it's a beautiful day, ain't it? Days like this make it all worthwhile.
For folks like Todd Puckle,
Yeah.
the Osage is Oklahoma's last best place.
There is a big wide world out there, and most of us are pretty much aware of it.
Now you're doing it right.
And you'd be surprised at the number of cowboys that's been to college and got degrees, and they've come back to be back outside.
A good cowboy is hard to come by.
John Hurd didn't have to come back to the ranch. He never left it. He grew up and is beginning to grow old on the land he loves.
I never thought I'd live long enough to be pretty near one of the old men on the outfit, but damn, it's got a One day you're 20, and the next day you're 40, and the next day you're a little older than that. And your hair starts turning gray, and your teeth start falling out. And then they start calling you Dad.
Let me brag on you. Let me be the first to tell you, boss, you did a wonderful job. Hey, hey, hey.
John may be a father figure to most of the cowboys, but he's more than that to one of them.
I don't think of him as my dad a lot of times because he's more of a friend, you know. We go places and do things, and I'm always with him. We got kind of more of a friendship type thing than a father-son because that's just always the way it's been.
It didn't take a lick and keep ticking, did it? You know, he's just a kid, but he's a man too. And it's unique because you really find out just what he's got in him when you get out there.
But in many ways, being different is what being a cowboy is all about.
It's not everybody that can be a cowboy. You've got to have it in you. You've got to have the want to and the drive to do it. We're really the last of the dying breed. There's not that many cowboys anymore.
And that's why the Osage, Oklahoma's last best place, can be a lonely place too. On the Drummond Ranch, I'm Randy Renner, Newsline 9, late edition.
We've been after it since July 3rd, and today will be the final day. So it took us right at 60 days to get them gathered.
This time of year, it's a really busy time of year for us. We're receiving new cattle and shipping out the old cattle. And so the cowboys they're tired and they've really done a good job. But they're getting up from anywhere 4 o'clock in the morning and we're going till 9, 10 o'clock at night. We've moved about 22 to 4,000 steers since we've started.
That's kind of a neat sight, but at the same time you think, golly, that's going to be a long day putting all them cattle in them trucks. And took care of them in the hot and the cold and cussed them and cried at them and now they're gone and it's payday today. That's what it's all about.
Okay, 15050.
Well, you know, you're able to weigh these steers. They're able to see that the fruit of their efforts. This is hard work, and I never thought so before, but people really can't imagine keeping those kind of hours. You had to 12 months out of the year, you know, I don't think anybody can keep that pace. You can push yourself to get through these 60 days.
Today is final day of messing with these big suckers. We're all ready to get rid of them. I'm kind of relieved we're done, but when everything finally gets finished, you just got to start all over again. Start with new cattle, start receiving again, everything will go back to the same cycle just as it was last year.
When I see that last truck rolling down the road, it's kind of didn't bother me too much. I was kind of glad to see them go, and I'm ready to start on a new bunch. These cattle is getting old, get to know them all. I'm ready to get some new ones in, look some new faces.
It looks like a Bosnian war zone, but this burning wood belongs to the taxpayers of Oklahoma.
This is the biggest one I've ever been on.
The warriors this night, men like Dwayne Hess. He's one of about 100 firefighters responding from 8 surrounding cities and towns. Their battleground, the lodge at Quartz Mountain. During the summer months, it serves as headquarters for a summer arts institute for high school students. Now, men and women fight a losing battle against fire. Their first problem, low water pressure.
We had numerous amount of trucks, a half a dozen trucks running back and forth, shuttling water back and forth for us.
Then, no water.
It was getting out of control, and we lost water, and we lost this area first, and then it just took off.
By the time crews caught up, flames had engulfed the lodge's lounge and threatened the guest rooms.
We've got everything hooked up here that we can to stop it from getting into here.
This time, fire crews had help.
Most of the lodge's rooms escaped damage thanks to double steel doors and 4-layer sheetrock firewalls, which stopped the flames right here and prevented them from spreading any further.
That small victory, along with no injuries and undamaged Art Institute buildings, is tempered by the destructive loss. By night, there's still part of a lounge to walk through. But by first light, smoke and flames from the hillside tell the night-long tale.
You can get it going up, you get it pushing, it'll go.
The little that's left is knocked down for safety, while crews brace for yet another danger.
We got a big chlorine tank right underneath us. Just trying to keep it cool.
And keeping the day-old war against Mother Nature's heat from flaring up. Jesse Gary, Newsline 9, Kiowa County.
I'm gonna get him one way or another. Coming nowhere.
My husband's been in it for 2 years, and talk about a change in personality. If this is not the man I married.
Most of us guys are like kids anyway. Everybody's always dreamed of doing this kind of stuff. We can put it to reality.
No! Come on! Out of there! No!
You go into a character of your own that just, it's the walk and the talk.
I hear there's a bad bunch in town there wanting to hang somebody today.
Help me! That's enough!
It makes you feel like you're back in the West, the old days.
Oh, you know what innocent bystanders are, don't you?
What's that?
They're targets.
I shoot outlaws. Try to keep the country safe. My granddad made the 89er run. He wore 2 Colt 45s.
Don't reach.
I got shot. It hurt. I think the fall hurt worse than the shot. Whoa!
Makes me feel like I'm back in the old West, which I never was.
Put it down there, blow it open. I'll get it.
Gunslinging wasn't necessarily like it is the way we reenact it in comedy and stuff like that.
Blow it up! No, you ain't gonna...
That drunk idiot, it ain't no telling what he's gonna blow it with.
He's gonna blow! What do you mean you thought it was lit? It ain't blown!
It's fabulous. We really have a good time with it.
Okay! We got it!
Dispatch, I'm 97, it's a federal building. In the basement of the federal building, there's a children's center. We've had an explosion, we need help. It's in the fire department.
One day after the Murrah building bombing, the FBI released this sketch of a suspect. One day later, the sketch took on flesh and bones and acquired a name, Timothy McVeigh.
Eyewitness descriptions are probably as critical as anything that we can have when it comes time to testify in court and get a conviction.
But the man behind this sketch remains elusive. Several people, including this Okima man, have been mistaken for John Doe number 2.
The Oklahoma City bombing illustrates both the advantages and the pitfalls of eyewitness identification. You never know when you'll be called upon to be a witness. Jerk! Can't you see what's going on with that guy? Hey, hey!
Get out of here! Go!
Hey, what happened?
He's got my car! He's got my purse and everything!
This wasn't a real crime, only a dramatization. But had it been real, and had you been a witness, could you identify the carjacker? What would you remember about it?
Take another one. Suppose you had been across the street. Here's what you would have seen.
Hey! Give me the purse! Give me the keys! Shut up! Get out of here! Go!
The carjacker came up behind the victim.
Hey! Hey! Give me the keys! Give me the purse!
Here's what she saw.
Hey! Give me the keys! Give me the purse! Shut up! Give me the purse! Get out of here! Go!
What did you see?
Each individual, if they're paying attention at all, focuses in on something different.
Did you notice the man's shirt? It was purple.
Pay attention to the face, the head to start with, and then work yourself down from there.
How about his pants? They were faded blue, almost white.
There isn't any area where you can say, I don't have to pay attention to what's going on around me.
Did you see the tattoo on his right hand? And could you describe the gun?
If you have an opportunity, go ahead and write it down, a complete description.
More importantly, could you identify his face?
It all comes down to whether or not a witness is paying attention to what's going on.
I'm going to show you a photo lineup.
Ultimately, victims and witnesses may have to pick the criminal out of a photo lineup.
Don, do you recognize anybody in those photographs?
Okay. You can, too. Is the carjacker suspect number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, or number 6? Here they all are. Can you pick the bad guy? In a split second.
Hey! Hey! Give me the keys! Give me the purse! Shut up! Give me the purse! Get out of here! Go!
A purse snatching. A carjacking. And you saw it.
Hey! Give me the purse! Give me the keys! Shut up! Get out of here! Go! Go!
Did you see enough?
As a witness, you might be composed enough to remember specific features of the carjacker. But what if you were the victim?
Here's what she saw.
Hey! Give me the purse! Give me the keys! Shut up! Get out of here! Go! Go!
And it's traumatic.
He's got my car! He's got my purse and everything!
But police say even in an instant, you can see enough to catch a thief.
Pay attention to the face, the head to start with, and then work yourself down from there. Facial shape, is it square, is it oval, is it round, are they plump, are they thin, eye color, facial hair, facial scars, jewelry, is the ear pierced, yes or no.
What happened? Did you get a look at him?
He
have a gun?
He had a gun.
Then, in the first few minutes after the crime, write down what you remember.
Did he have any scars? Tattoo?
That will help your recall.
If there's two that are similar, you make the choice and I'll make the changes in the drawing, okay?
If you later work with a police artist.
We come in here and we verbalize about them and I show them an identikit. Think the hair's going to cover the ear? Part of the ear? Just a little bit, okay. They visualize them, okay? And the ball cap was what?
Dark green.
Green. And then when I show them the drawing, they recognize it. Same simple technique. Is verbalize, visualize, and recognize. Kind of lets us know what the guy kind of looks like, generally.
But the sketch is only a start for police officers.
And I'm going to show you a photo lineup.
Eventually, they'll probably put together a photo lineup of suspects.
Most of my victims will, if they remember one thing about a suspect, it will be his eyes.
Last night, we showed you the 6 suspects in our photo lineup and asked you to pick one. We gave you an 800 number to call in and invited you to name a suspect. Which one of our suspects did you pick?
Do you recognize anybody in the photographs?
Number 5.
If you pick suspect number 5, you're a good witness.